Today on the show, is it safe to consume your coffee after 8? Welcome back to That's Rank, your home for food news and reviews. My name's Chris, and thank you so much for sticking with me this past week while there haven't been any updates to the channel. I've been a little bit under the weather, and unfortunately I didn't have a community tab with which to update you guys, but we are back. We're gonna do this thing. You cannot keep a good man down for very long. And today is another in our continuing series of testing out our coffee creamers, with After 8 Creamer being the latest to attempt to leap its way to the very top of our rankings. And of course, what would one of our coffee dates be without a little bit of story time? And today I want to tell you all about my debacle with Wayfair from this past summer. There's delivery issues that you're going to encounter over the course of your lives, and then there is this story. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But first, we've got our coffee to drink, and as always, this segment wouldn't be this segment without an appearance from the ever god-awful coffee from Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme, not a sponsor, and if I keep slagging their coffee, they never will be. Now, before we dive too deeply into this coffee, I did want to share some exciting news, which is I now have additional content being shared on the Blast the Radio YouTube page. My daily radio segments are over there, so for today, for example, John and I dive deep into National On a Stick Day, talking about the weird world of fried fair foods. So that's Blast the Radio's YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button and comment just so that they know that I sent you. Now on to this coffee creamer, and this After 8 creamer is from the same set of candy flavored creamers that the Coffee Crisp one came from, and there's also a Turtles creamer as part of the lineup that we will get to on a future edition of this, I'm certain. Now, Coffee Crisp holds the top spot in our rankings so far, so going based on that very small sample size of data, this creamer holds a 100% likelihood of being delicious. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the After 8 chocolates, first of all, have you never been to a moderately fancy restaurant in your life? You know, the kind of place that has the white tablecloths and soups to start the meal, but you can still get away with wearing a John Deere hat and hoodie and not be terribly out of place. There's like a 30% chance that if you walk into a place like that, you're gonna get served an After 8 chocolate at the end of the meal, which is a chocolate filled with mint flavored fondant in the middle. Basically, it's like a super thin York peppermint patty. Now, personally, I prefer an After 8 to a peppermint patty because I find the York ones to be a little too much with the fondant. The ratio in the After 8s is about right. I'm looking for more chocolate and less mint because while I love a mint, a peppermint patty just reaches a point where I'm no longer sure if I'm eating candy or just squeezing a tube of toothpaste directly down my throat. Anyway, no more build-up. Like they say in coffee taste tests around the globe, let's taste that coffee. You know, I seem to remember that back around Christmas we had a peppermint mocha creamer that I wasn't really all that crazy about. I don't remember the ins and outs or specifics of it other than it was sort of a mid-tier coffee creamer. What I do know is that this one's doing what I wish that that one had done. It's got a really good subtle mint flavor in the coffee itself. You know, the chocolate is smooth. They've absolutely hit the mark with this one. I will absolutely continue to drink this one even after this episode is done filmed. So the question remains, is it a top tier flavor? No, and I'm not sure that it ever had a chance to be one. Mint in my coffee is good occasionally, but it's nothing that I'd look to reach for every single day. It's got a time and a place, but I prefer mint things in stuff like tea. Like, I make my own mint and calamansi iced tea over the summer. I have mint that grows in my backyard, so I dry it out, I let it steep with some fresh calamansi from my little Filipino tree that I've got growing, and I think that's where mint does its best work, like in a super chill, super refreshing environment. I prefer my coffee to be a bit bolder, so I'm gonna give this a score of 81. And I feel like that's gotta be about the peak for where a mint coffee is gonna land in my world. Maybe. I haven't tried them all, of course. In the meantime, here's an updated look at the big board, and this slides into the bottom rung of that second tier, but if you like mint and chocolate, this coffee is probably the one for you. All right, so here, of course, is where I normally provide you with some reviews, but I just checked online and we don't actually have any for this one. So I guess there's no need to issue a delay. unlike my backyard furniture from Wayfair. So about a year ago, we decided to do a full renovation of our backyard, along with the rest of the world doing the exact same thing. The reason being is that our backyard was built on former swampland, so it gets really, really weedy and really hard to control. I've done what I can to try to keep those weeds under control. It's just simply not happening at this stage. They're out of control. They're nuclear weeds. I don't know what to tell you. So in order to completely mitigate the weeds, we did a full hardscape back there. You know, we had patio laid end to end, fake grass put in where grass theoretically should be. We had Riverstone on the pathway right up to the backyard. The whole thing looks phenomenal. And we decided with a phenomenal new backyard that we wanted to spend time in because we weren't at risk of being eaten by a rabid vine that might just suddenly come out and strangle us like a boa constrictor, that we should probably get our hands on some fancy new backyard furniture to go along with it. So last March I headed onto Wayfair and I found a really nice looking dining set. It was like an L-shaped couch and a table. So altogether, that was what it was, and I thought that'd look great because we were having a gazebo put in as well, and it would be great to be able to eat in our backyard. I figured March was plenty of time to make sure that I'd be able to enjoy it throughout the summer, or at least when the backyard was completed, which turned out to be about the end of June when it was all said and done. Well, the stuff was delivered in reasonably good time. It showed up end of April, which isn't a shock. It was coming up from the United States, so I wasn't too concerned about it. And it didn't matter because I wasn't going to put it together until about mid-June, a couple weeks before the end of the construction in the backyard. Mid-June rolls around, I open up the box, I manage to put the couch together, and then I go to put together the table and find that it is completely warped. So I took some pictures of it. I called up Wayfair and they had no problems whatsoever. Hey, we'll send you a replacement table. Cool. Now the problem was, of course, it was going to take like another 6 to 8 weeks to arrive. C'est la vie, I'll deal with that. So we waited and waited and waited. Mid-July rolls around and a giant box turns up on my front step. Okay, cool, my stuff is here. I open up the box to discover half of the couch and a full set of cushions. I went through it end to end, not a table to be seen anywhere in there. So this is a problem. And because it's only half a couch, like literally there's no way to put this together. It is missing parts, all told. So even if I could put the couch together, it's completely useless to me. Called them up. They don't want it back because the cost to ship it back to the United States would cost them an arm and a leg. So they told me to keep it. So I just kept the cushions as a backup set if anything happens to the original ones. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. The table's on its way, sir. So back to waiting again. This time it's a lot faster. It's the first weekend in August and UPS rings my bell and they have a tiny little package for me, about yay big, and it's from Wayfair. And I open it up and it is screws and stuff. It's the hardware to install the table. So I call up their customer service line to determine where my table is. Oh, not to worry, sir. We shipped them separately, the hardware and the table. The table just appears to be stuck at the border. So I wait about another 2 weeks and call them back up. Yeah, your table is still stuck at the border and we've lost tracking on it, sir. Oh boy. So now they are going to send me the table for what is to be a fourth time. My patience is running thin, although I haven't lost it on any of the customer service reps because Wayfair's customer service is top notch, man. Like, other groups need to take full courses from these guys. They are polite, they are patient, and they want to help, and I don't think it's their fault that the warehouse continually sends me the wrong stuff. Anyway, they escalated for faster service. Unfortunately, faster service takes us to the beginning of September now, when a large package shows up on my doorstep. It looks a little too big to be a table, and lo and behold, it is the same half of the couch one more time with an extra set of cushions one more time. So I call them up to issue yet another complaint, and they can't do anything with my order because it's been flagged by the fraud department and they need to put me through to the fraud department. That's cool. I go through over there and they want to find out why I've had so many packages delivered to me. I'm more than happy to explain because I've taken pictures as everything has gone along the way, and I explain there's got to be a problem at the warehouse or something where whatever shipping label you have on the table actually matches this half couch, which seemingly keeps being the piece that gets sent to me. Thankfully, the fraud department's pretty cool. I even jokingly suggest they could send me the entire couch set again. It might be cheaper than going the methods that they've been going so far, but this guy assures me he's going to be on top of it and he is going to send me just the table. Cool. So I get an email that shows that it has been shipped and the package is 80 pounds. 80 pounds happens to be the weight of the large half couch that I continue to get. So I immediately email my friend back and let him know I think that they may have sent me the half couch again. He assures me 100% it's the table, not to sweat it. He's got it taken care of. All right. We are now into the second week of October when a package shows up, and I am pleased to report that it is, in fact, my table. It's not damaged, it's in great shape, it's the table I wish I had all summer, and because it's the middle of October, I happen to be preparing to wrap my gazebo up in a tarp for the winter. So it showed up the day I was putting everything away from the winter, so I put together the table happily, slid it in the middle of the gazebo, and then threw a tarp on where it has been sitting all winter long. And I cannot wait to enjoy my first dinner outside later this summer for a table I ordered last March. So there you go. I ordered a table over a year ago, one that I still have not used, but I gotta give it to Wayfair for taking their losses like champs and eventually getting the right thing done. Do tell me though, what's the worst customer service debacle you've ever faced in your life? Share your thoughts down below in the comments section, and of course if you haven't done so, your subscription to the channel helps me out tons, so please just hit that button. It only takes a second, it's free of charge, and gives you access to all the content here on this channel first as soon as it drops. I appreciate all your support. I will catch you on the next one, which will be coming shortly because I'm back to moderately full health. Ciao for now.